Hi everybody, Ron Chapman Jr. here, Executive Director of Games for Life, bringing you Game of the Week number 5, and this is actually a game from the same tournament as Game of the Week number 4, but I had taken a short break, so I figured I'd do 2 in 1 week. This is a game I played in a tournament last night. I'm rated almost 1800, and the person I was playing was rated about 1700, so pretty evenly matched game, but he made some costly errors fairly early on, and the game actually didn't take very long. So we'll get into it and see how it goes. Okay, I started with, let's see, where am I here? Okay, let's see, e4, c5, knight to c3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, e6, a3. Pretty basic opening. I like to play a3 early. It stops in case anyone ever wants to bring their knight out here. It stops that, so I do a3. It also gives me a square that I often bring my bishop back to a2. So do early. He does knight to e7, and then again I do knight to e2. And as I said in the last video, that's kind of a new thing I've been trying in my tournament games, is bringing that knight there. And then oftentimes bringing it to g3, and that's just to kind of give a little something different going on. I feel like for me personally, when I get my knights into places they don't usually land, it often gets me good positions, and I can do good things with my knight. So that's something I've been trying. Let's see. So he pushes g6. I put my bishop back on a2, like I was saying I like to do. Bishop g7, d3, he castles, bishop to b5. I like that move. I'm currently pinning down his knight, but I'm also thinking that if I can move my queen up here, then I'll have a nice diagonal going in to h6. So let's see, so I'll move that back, bishop there, and then he does queen out to b6, attacking my pawn right there on b2. So I move my rook over to protect the pawn. He does a6. Not really sure why he did a6 there, but anyway, queen to d2. As I was saying, now I have this nice diagonal. Rook to e8, and then I do h4, and that's kind of, I'm being very aggressive. I haven't castled. I wouldn't advise, especially to beginner players. Usually you always want to castle, but I still can castle on that side. It's just it would be a little bit more dangerous now. But my king's safe at the moment. I think it would take a lot of pawn action in order to break up what I have in front of my king right now, so I felt fairly safe doing that, and I also like to attack, especially when I'm playing white. So then he plays h5, and that's because he saw that I was going to try and push my pawn in here, which would start to break down his pawn structure, and then I'd have this rook, potentially this queen and this bishop all headed toward his king. So he stops that with h5. Then I'm trying to trade off the bishops, because if I can trade bishops, if he was to take, and I take back with my queen, then my queen's nice and close to his king. He can't bring his knight here to defend because my pawn's attacking, but I can start throwing some pawns up here and see if I can get my rook and my queen lined up and deliver checkmate. So let's see. So in this position, he plays f5, and I think that was really that was a big mistake. If nothing else, the pawns in front of his king are now, he's just moving too far. There's a lot of holes I can try and punch in there and poke in there. So I think f5 was potentially a little overly aggressive on his part, trying to fight back a little hard. So I immediately take the open. My queen looked at square. I've got lots of options, and so then he does knight to d4, And I knew what he was thinking. He was thinking that, I'll trade here, and then he can take back either with the pawn or the bishop, probably with the pawn. And then I think he was probably also thinking that if I don't take back, then he can take my knight, or he can take my pawn here. So he was thinking that I'll probably trade knights, but actually go knight to f4, and the reason being is that if he comes knight to c2, let's play that out. Let's say he goes knight to c2, and I attack, and then he goes back, then I have multiple things with my knight. I can go here, or I can go here, are both legitimate moves attacking. So let's see, so I'm rewind that back. Okay, so he does knight here, and then that's what I do, is I go knight to f4, and he goes king to h7, which doesn't really get his king out of hot water in this position. I think he needed to trade. I'm not actually sure what the right thing for him to do was. I was obviously looking at what I should be doing. But because when he does that, it gets ugly fast for him. I take the bishop. He takes back. Check with the knight. The knight is safe because this pawn is pinned down by my queen. So then he goes here. He doesn't have a lot of options for where he can go. If he was to go here, then I would go there, and then he would go here, and then I would mate him. And if he was to go here, I would go here for check, and then he would go here, and then I'd go here for mate also. And let's see, what else did he have? He could have gone straight back, in which case I can go knight there, and then he can go king here, and then I could take the rook. He could take here, which may have actually that may have been his best move, I'm not sure. Because in the position, he goes king to h7, which actually gives me the same fork, because I still go knight to f6 check. But now his king is too far away to even save the rook, so once he goes there, he goes back to king to g7, and actually get another check, taking the rook. Knight takes on e8, check again. So now he goes to attack the knight, but now I can just bring it in nice and safe. Knight to c6, and at this point he just lost a rook for nothing, so I'm definitely got material, even if my position isn't going well. So now he decides, hey, I'll take a pawn, why not? I put my king over here, knight to d4, I push this pawn over here on h5, he puts me in check, it's kind of a, I mean, you could already tell that he was kind of giving up at this point. I just take with the bishop, he takes with the queen, actually resigns there. I have lots of options. I can take here, put him in check, and let's see, where would he be able to go? He could take back with the knight, I could take here with the rook, and when he backs up, I mean, he was running out of options quick. So, yeah, like I said, he resigned a couple moves back, but I think the main thing from that was just that he moved the pawns that were near his king way too early and way too far away, and he didn't have adequate protection for his pawns or for his king. And if you also notice that this bishop right here and this rook, they never even got involved in the game. This bishop actually couldn't even move. So yeah, we didn't develop all his pieces before he started attacking, and just kind of overextended his pawns. So yeah, hope you learned something, and thanks for watching. Bye.